Hello, I'm Maria Hall-Brown, and this is LA Currents. Responsible for watershed protection, wastewater treatment, and collection of solid resources, LA Sanitation and Environment had to make some pretty dramatic changes when the virus hit the city. But fortunately, those changes were made, and here to explain what happened, Enrique Zaldivar. He is the Director and GM of LA Sanitation and Environment. So nice to have you here. Okay, I gotta start right off the bat with the show and tell. When LA Sanitation and Environment had to make adjustments to the departments, you put together something pretty special for your employees.
That's right. So, you know, as you said, Maria, much of our workforce needed to stay working.
Yes.
But the hand sanitizer became a critical item that we
couldn't find.
So we had the capacity to make it in-house.
We have seen recently a lot of the protests and multiple tens of thousands of people walking through the street of Los Angeles. How did that affect LA San?
Our job was to clean up following the demonstrations, whether it was litter, whether it was debris. Having a bunch of trash containers in the midst of the demonstration can always have a catch-22 because we certainly don't want the trash bins to themselves become something that could be set on fire or anything like that. So we would come in afterwards.
Are you feeling okay with how people are behaving in terms of keeping their environmental thoughts in their minds, even though we're kind of going back to a somewhat disposable world for a short time?
You know, Maria, that's a question that I had actually contemplated prior because keep in mind, our mission is to protect public health and the environment.
Right.
Well, those two usually are complementary, but there are times in which they may clash. I mean, you saw where stores, they were not requiring people bringing their reusable bags.
Right.
And giving away thicker plastic bags, and the governor relaxed the state requirement. We were fine with it because what became more important then is that folks needed to feel safer about their public health. So this is the one instance in which public health can trump environmental protection until we're able to get them to be complementary again.
There has been a huge increase in people utilizing wipes and utilizing things to keep their surfaces. And I had heard that there is now a problem with people flushing those that should not be flushed. Have you noticed issues with the wastewater treatment plant?
You know, it's interesting, Maria, how sort of what appear to be oftentimes the most basic of activities can cause such huge problems if we don't address them, but wipes is one of those.
Yeah.
They provide an incredible utility to the customers, to the residents, especially now, as you said. And then there's this problem of mislabeling where so many of the wipes are labeled as flushable.
Right.
Which, of course, we would go by what the label reads, and if it's flushable, it's flushable. Well, they're not. Many of them are not, if not most of them. Mm-hmm. And so over time, yes, it could be in someone's very own home. There's a clog, and before you know it, there's a backup.
Right.
And if it gets deeper into our system, then our pumping plants can get clogged up. Mm-hmm. And that's a major environmental issue with spills coming out onto the street, pipes backing up into people's basements, sometimes into people's living rooms. Mm-hmm. So the tiny, innocent-looking wipe can be quite the ravaging,
right. Well, you're responsible for the largest wastewater treatment plant in the country, so I imagine that once it gets into that arena too, we're talking about some pretty large challenges to make sure that the water gets treated properly and is purified once again.
Yes, and anything that goes in will show up at our treatment plant, Hyperion water reclamation plant, where we're very well on our way of making it the largest recycled water production facility in the world.
Wow.
That our goal, Mayor Garcetti's goal, is to do that by 2035.
Mm-hmm.
That's only 15 years away.
Yeah.
But it is, certainly in my view, a beautiful facility. It does have the best view in the city, by the way.
Does it really?
It looks straight out onto Santa Monica Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Water frontage, beautiful views. So, all of our folks who work there, when I go there, I just feel so fortunate.
Oh, obviously, LA San is responsible for the city at large. So what are some of the efforts that have taken place to make sure the city's streets themselves are clean?
Litter can define oftentimes the image of a city.
Sure.
And we want to tackle it from the ground up. That is that, folks enjoy drinking a cup of coffee while they're walking.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how long before you have to find a place to get rid of the cup? If there are no places to get rid of the cup, are folks going to continue to carry the cup?
No, they're going to toss it.
You would want to believe that they would, but that's not practical.
Mm-hmm.
So there's got to be places where folks can toss it. That's where we come in. So through Mayor Garcetti's leadership and the City Council, right now there are over 12,000 litter bins all throughout the city. And we're going to add more so that at some point there's almost like a saturation point, that you will never have to walk more than a block to find a place to get rid of it.
Right.
That eliminates the litter problem that can be so defining.
Right. It's surprising to me how much, walking into just hearing about LA Sanitation, you sort of have this is what it does, it picks up the trash, it takes care of the water treatment, et cetera. But there's this enormous array of different services that your department provides that I don't think, even fun things, and I know that a lot of things have to be taken into consideration with the COVID that you cannot do. But you had an Earth Day bingo to have an LA San truck come to a house. How did that go?
Well, very popular, by the way. We have those little mini trucks.
Yes.
Which are adorable.
Sure, you can say that.
And they're an exact replica of our big size trucks, and they're really nice. And so, like on our Earth Day events, we give those away to the kids, and they are just popular as you can imagine. And so, yes, I think we're obviously here to serve and service the residents of the city and we are an asset of the city. But I think we have to speak more about all the many things we do for the residents.
Right.
LA River is a great example. Most folks don't know that during the dry years, the dry months of the year, there is a river because of the recycled water we put in the river. And now under our watershed program, as you indicated, Maria, being able to maintain and keep the water clean so that we can enable things like kayaking. And once you have done that,
you look at the river in a whole new way, I imagine.
Absolutely. It's a complete transformation.
Lighting fires on sacred shores. I found a spot just like before. A setting sun you can't ignore. In the darkness, find a cure. To the river, we run. Holding tight.
Well, if people want to learn more about LA Sanitation and Environment, what's the website they should go to?
lacdsan.org.
Well, I thank you so much for telling me all this wonderful information and sharing some time with me.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you.